what we're talking about is obviously from the title is ChatGPT. More broadly, it is generative AI. And artificial intelligence, the term has been around for many decades. There is very little agreement on exactly what it means. And I'm not going to try and define artificial intelligence broadly. But generative AI is what we're talking about when we're talking about ChatGPT. And this is specifically it's a type of machine learning that's designed to create content. ChatGPT is, I'm sure that a large portion of you are already using it and have played with it and are familiar with what it is. But generally, you can create text, you can create video, you can create code, you can create images, music. Really, it's content generation at a prompt. And ChatGPT, when it came out in November, was really revolutionary because it was a simple interface that basically allows anybody to use this technology. Prior to that, there were, and that's why it was GPT 3.5 on there. I mean, there had been prior versions of it, but this is the first one that was sort of publicly available, and that was very easy to use. Now we have version 4. You guys have seen the headlines. You know that it passed the bar exam. You know that it got a 5 on the biology AP test, and all the other headlines that have that you've read about. Hopefully today we're going to talk a little bit about what it means for immigration lawyers, and Michael is going to tell you sort of one very important thing, which is ChatGPT is not the only generative AI program that's out there. And it's coming up, it'll be coming up in a lot of ways, and it'll be built into a lot of programs that you use. So Michael, why don't you talk a little bit about sort of like what products we're talking about?
Sure. So a GPT is the core tech here that is developed by a company called OpenAI, which many of you have probably heard about. OpenAI is a company that has received a lot of investment, notably from some people like Elon Musk, who I think is trying to now start his own AI company, despite being an investor there. Microsoft is the largest investor in this company, and as a result of their billions of dollars that they have contributed, they will be utilizing OpenAI technology in the coming months with their Microsoft programs and also new programs that will be coming. So as Greg said, OpenAI or artificial intelligence has been around for quite a while. We've all probably been using it and may not have really thought much about it, such as if you're using a voice over internet protocol or VoIP system, you might have it there. There are other companies that are getting into the space. One of the other notable companies that I've learned about is one called, I think, Anthropic, that is coming out with a system called Claude that also seeks to rival OpenAI's work, that is probably going to try to focus in certain segmented areas. The people that are behind OpenAI, or some of the tech behind it, for example, is also a company called NVIDIA, which is a chip maker that is producing the chips that are utilized for OpenAI. The CEO or the person in charge, one of the persons in charge, executives at NVIDIA, commented, I think on CNBC, that these chips were really not that expensive for them to produce, given it's millions of dollars, $15 million for some of these chips, that they believe that we'll see LLMs, which are these learning language models, in the next few years. You'll see them in different industries that will have their own LLMs, such as in law, such as in other areas. So one of the other companies, that came out with their own LLM as a result of this was Google, which had been working on one for quite some time. And there was some controversy that a engineer was fired from Google because he publicly complained that the Google's AI was sentient or had feelings of some kind. Google has released one of their own called Bard, which you can request access to through your Google account. And you can also request access to OpenAI, usually by setting up an account with them, by going to openai.com. And you can link it with your Microsoft or Google account, which is what I do. And you can also pay OpenAI now for additional access to what Greg mentioned was GPT 4.0, which is their updated language model. Otherwise, you may only have access to 3.5 with your free version. and you may not always have access if the service is ever down. So OpenAI and others are really those companies that are the leaders in this right now.